So this one is going to kind of be a tough one for me because there are still a lot of things that I don't understand about power. When I talk about this topic, or when I think about this topic, at least in my own head for my own mental health, I like to use the acronym POOP. Poop. It stands for power over other people. And I really like the acronym because we all kind of viscerally understand that poop is a bad thing, it's unpleasant, and you don't really want to have a lot of it around you. So, who wants power over other people? Poop heads! Here's my thing. I don't want power over other people. I don't deserve it. I'm not qualified to wield it. And my general argument is, nobody is. Nobody deserves power. Nobody is qualified to wield power. Anyone who does want power over other people, anyone who thinks they're qualified to wield it or thinks they somehow naturally deserve it, is by their very nature a dangerous person. They are poop heads. And for some reason, we glorify and champion poop heads all the time and have done so through all of our history. We talk about great leaders and powerful leaders and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Nobody besides yourself and someone who really, really loves you has your best interests at heart. No leader, no matter how they became a leader, elected or created or imposed or whatever, can have your best interests at heart. And this is going to sound a little hyperbolic, but I don't think there's such a thing as a good person who wants to wield power over other people. And the very saying is so indicative of the real honest-to-goodness truth about the whole thing. You wield power. What do you wield? Weapons! Power is a weapon. Power is also an intoxicant, and I think that's how it kind of got spread as thoroughly as it did as a system, because once you get someone hooked on it, then they can kind of disseminate it around in little manageable doses. And that's kind of how they learned over time to keep feeding their habit, and then the habit of all these other little junkies for power that they've created. So at some point in our history, we managed to create this ruling class, and I've no clue how the fuck that actually happened. But then they created the gentry and the landowners and the moneyed classes, and they in turn created the warrior class, who needed to basically maintain all of those structures of power and keep it away from the non-property, non-moneyed, non-powerful classes. I mean, that's really why police become police. Let's not kid ourselves. They want power over other people. They're just guards. They just guard the money and the privilege of their masters. They're servants and not of the public good. And I mentioned that money is power. And money is power because you can coerce people to do things with it. You can make someone do something they really don't want to do if you give them enough money, because money is leverage. And it's like they say, everybody has a price, right? Everything has a price. If you can pay enough, you can make anyone do just about anything. And that's terrible. And in a world of power, you can coerce people to do things with punishment. So let's say I want to disobey the structure of power. I break a law, like a little law. I park illegally or something like that. So my initial punishment is I'll get a fine. It's monetary, right? So let's say that I don't want to pay attention to the power structure and I don't pay that fine, all right? They tow my car. So now they've hit me right in the property, right in the ownership. Ooh, okay, so let's say I want to continue to disobey the structure of power. I don't even try to claim my car. The fines at this point are just stacking up. Eventually, I am arrested. And that's when they've really tipped their hand and they've shown you what power really is. Because power is a weapon, physical violence is the purest expression of power. There is nothing more base, brutal, and inhuman than physical violence of every kind. Physical violence in every form it takes is the tool of a child. It is shameful, and its use embarrasses us as a thinking, self-aware species. Nobody is qualified to control you or tell you what to do or make decisions for you. Nobody is qualified to hold power over you. And we all need to stop playing by the rules of power because they're not helping anybody. Well, okay, obviously they're helping the people currently in power, but that's obviously something that ought to change. And this is the part that gets really hard. I don't know how to change it. Maybe if we could all defend each other, because any real change worth having is gonna need defending. It's gonna be met with very, very stiff and real resistance from the structures of power. Because power it's like an organism. It's gonna defend itself, It's gonna defend its self-interests. And the self-interests of money and ownership and power don't take any of us into account. It doesn't take the health and well-being of the planet into account. It just propagates itself. And violence is gonna be used as a tool against us. Violence is being used as a tool everywhere in the whole world. And that's the scariest part. And I have no idea how to go about changing that. I have no idea how to go about facing that. So for my own mental health, that's something that I still have to do a lot of thinking about.